What about Talanoa Hufanga? You brought him up. Do you think the Niners keep or let Talanoa Hufanga leave?
I think they let him walk. When you find a guy like Malik Mustafa, it's not the fact of, for me, it's not, oh, we got Malik Mustafa, we can pair him with Huff. I mean, in my eyes, it's like we found Malik Mustafa. What do we need Huff for? They kind of are redundant in a sense that Malik Mustafa is faster, stronger, and a little bit more dynamic than Talanoa Hufanga. Now, I understand that in our defense, we don't traditionally do the free safety, strong safety deal. We basically interchange safeties, and they both have dual responsibilities based off of the strength of the call defense. I get that. But we don't have a free safety on this team. We don't. And right now, we're really talking about for this stage, if we're still in the game talking about DJ Reed, then somebody needs to start having real conversations about why we drafted a safety so high. All right, if you could find Malik Mustafa in the later rounds of the draft, it kind of makes. Well, wait a minute, we didn't draft Huff that high. I'm sorry. It kind of makes Huff expendable. For me, the money that he was about to get paid, we've kind of been circling this issue with Huff before. But what had happened was that we had a really big deal with where we thought that we were going to lose Huff because we weren't going to be able to pay him, and then he got hurt. Now, since he's been back, he still got hurt multiple times throughout the year, so it's not as if he can necessarily stay healthy. And I just would go with the young gun and actually go get a free safety. I think it's time to go get one. Joshua Pepper says Mustafa got trucked. Dude, he ran up and throttled down and got hit and got ran over. It wasn't like 1-for-1 trucking like head up, but there's guys that we can get. I mean, in safety, for me, safety is a position where we could really get some value in this year's draft. We really can for safety.
I think they're going to let him go too. I don't really know what Robert Saleh thinks of Talanoa Hufanga. It seemed like he was a D'Amico guy. D'Amico was the defensive coordinator when they drafted him. D'Amico made him the starter, and D'Amico seemed to really believe in him and trust him to play with instincts in ways that I don't know that Sorensen or Steve Wilks did. I think there's no coincidence that Hufanga had his best season under D'Amico, and I wouldn't be surprised if Hufanga wants to go back to playing with D'Amico. That being said, it's possible that Hufanga goes to Houston, stays healthy, plays really well, and the Niners regret letting go of an all-pro safety who's 25. He's not even 25 yet. He's 24.
Well, I got something for you, man. Like this year's draft, very good safeties in this year's draft. It's pretty deep. Malachi Moore out of Alabama is coming out this year. Jonas Sinker out of Virginia is coming out this year. I mean,
and the Niners have shown they can get good safeties in rounds 4 and 5.
Yeah, there's safeties in this year's draft. We can really solve that this year.
Yeah,
I love Malachi Moore.
There are safeties in free agency. Like there's Javon Holland, who will be expensive, but there's other guys like Justin Reed.
Look at you,
Justin Reed, Eric Reed's little brother, better player than Reed was. Won some championships, explosive, fast, good player.
Yeah, it's time for them to just go ahead and solve that. We need a free safety. We really haven't had the back end of our defense necessarily protected since Jimmy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they're going to regret letting go of Hufanga. He didn't really, he had to play with a club on his hand this year. I think he could be, someone's going to get him at 25 years old, coming off 2 injury-prone seasons, probably on a discount, and you could get an all-pro safety.
Club schmub. I'm
Club
over
schmub,
it.
Man. He always seems to be around the ball. I like safeties like that. And as explosive as Malik Mustafa is, he has 1 interception and 5 pass breakups in his career. So I like him a lot, but man, I don't know. And I think
how many picks does Huff have?
I feel like he could play free safety. He's
Malik?
not exactly big. Malik, yeah.
For me, I think free safety is a mentality rather than it is a skill. They both can get out and run in space. Being a ball hawk is definitely innate. You have to really feel comfortable with playing that center fielder position, have good ball skills. But as far as I'm concerned, we don't have that true ball hawk guy that, even for what Gip gave us when we had Tashaun Gibson, that was a plus athlete. Even with him being in the later years of his career.
Well, remember, Gip was a D'Amico guy too. The way Saleh used to do it was on third down, he would have Jimmy Ward kind of be the strong safety, manned up on the tight end, and he would put Tart in center field. And Tart wasn't a 4-3 runner, but he could cover some ground. He would just drop the ball. I'm sorry, Jaquaski. You had a nice sorry. But that's how Saleh would do it. It's how he would do it.
Jaquaski was a cool dude too, wasn't he?
You think Mustafa could cover center field on third downs?
No.
If you bring in pressure and you got. So that's the
thing.
I
don't want to say no. So yeah,
safety. Then Hufanga's in center field and Mustafa's on the tight end.
Yeah. I don't want to say that he's like, I don't want to limit Malik. We talked about this. Malik already has kind of like his NFL body. That's one thing that's awesome about him is that he came in with physicality on tap. My biggest thing is just where's his ceiling? You know, if Malik comes in and kind of puts on another 5 to 10 pounds, you know, now we're talking about a whole different level of athlete right now. So, you know, he's still a child as far as being a rookie is concerned, but I liken Malik Mustafa a little bit to Deommodore Lenoir. Deommodore Lenoir has always had like time on task. He's always had that dog in him, right? He's always been scrappy, but he had to bring his body with him 2 years ago. Once he came back with 12 pounds of muscle and a completely new frame, he had some confidence to add on to that body. He completely turned into a whole new player. Malik is already confident as confident could be. But if he could take the next step, I think it'll show levels on what you've been seeing out of Huff, because I think Huff came on so strong. And mind you, Malik is showing off on a bad defense. Would Huff been able to show this type of productivity if he would have came in as a rookie on this type of defense? Right? Even when Huff was young, there was a lot of things that Huff used to get picked on about. He used to get singled out, go deep on him all the time. And a lot of that stuff got forgiven because Huff was afforded the ability to pin his ears back and play free because he was on such a great defense. Malik didn't get that, and he still kind of rose to the top. So I just look at them differently.
The thing with Malik, I look at him differently too. I thought his interception in Seattle was like really nice, and I believe he was in center field and ranged over to the hashes to make the pick or to the numbers. And so I feel like he could do that role on third down. Again, I don't know if he necessarily has the movement skill. Like, he's a 4th round pick. I don't know about his agility to like really play man-to-man bump and run coverage against some of the best tight ends in the league. I'm not saying he can't. I haven't seen him do it. I know Jimmy Ward could. And I know that's a skill set that Robert Saleh is going to be looking for, because if you want to bring pressure on third down, which Saleh does, or he did with the Niners, then you'll play single high and you'll play man, and you need someone who can cover the tight end, or else you're going to get eaten alive over the middle quickly. And Saleh always had Jimmy Ward, who won those matchups.
The tight end eraser. Remember I used to always drop film? He used to drop film and talk about, like, remember how Jimmy used to drop film and nobody would really watch it, but he'd be like, dog, they don't even respect me, man. You see what I'm doing to these tight ends, bro? Like, y'all go see when I'm gone. Y'all go see when I'm gone. like another tight end. Like, the whole win, remember, we would like blow a whole team out. Jimmy would just drop film on him locking down the team's tight end that day. Like, look at this dude. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Didn't do nothing over here.
Like, he could do that to Kittle in practice.
He used to erase him.
Player, but Kittle is not a premier route runner. Well, I don't want to knock Kittle, but like, Kittle's at his best.
I know what you mean.
Y'all after the catch, and he's a big boy's load, but just one-on-one in practice, Jimmy Ward's a tough matchup.
Jimmy used to put the straps on him.
Jimmy Ward could cover wide receivers in those drills, and would frequently.